Hello everyone, so what we're going to do in this video is we're going to add and subtract rational expressions that are not factored in the denominator. So before we had a factored denominator, made things easy. You could see what was missing, multiply both of them by that part to get that least common multiple. But here, we're not so fortunate. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by factoring the denominator and then go ahead and see if there's an easy way to just multiply. Sometimes we have to do it the long way because that's just the way the problem's written. So let's go ahead and look at this one. Is there anything we could factor out of that? No. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to rewrite that. So we have negative 7m squared over 2m plus 1. And then looking right here, we could factor out an 8 from the denominator on that one. So let's just go ahead and take care of that. So minus 11 over 8 times 2m minus 1. And so they are not the same. 2m plus 1 and 2m minus 1, those are not the same. So we're stuck by multiplying this one by 2m minus 1 and multiplying this one by 2m plus 1. So it will have the same denominator. And excuse me, actually we need to multiply this one by 8 as well in order to have the same denominator. So over here we're going to have 8 times 2m minus 1. And on this one, we're going to multiply it by 2m plus 1. And I put the parentheses because we're multiplying it by all of 2m plus 1. And by the way, so what we're going to do is we're going to distribute, but do not worry about the bottom. I mean, you don't have to FOIL out the bottom. Oops, forgot to drag this over. You don't have to FOIL out the bottom. You can just leave it that nice factored form. That is the simplified form. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and distribute on the top though. So I'm going to distribute the negative 7m squared to both of those. So what we'll get is negative 14. But we're also going to distribute the 8. So don't forget we will need to distribute the 8 as well. So it's actually going to be 7 times 8 is 56. And then 56 times 2 is 112. So we're going to have negative 112 m cubed. Hopefully I did that right. And then plus 56m squared, because 7 times 8 is the 56 times the 1, the 2 negatives, negative times a negative just becomes a positive. And then on the bottom, what we're going to have is 8 times 2m plus 1, or 2m minus 1. Well, also 2m plus 1. Multiplication is commutative, so don't have to worry about that. Then minus, we'll distribute the 11 now, so the 11 gets distributed to both of these. So that's going to be simple. It's going to be 22m plus 11. On the bottom, we'll have 8 times 2m minus 1, 2m plus 1. The whole point is we want to have that common denominator, which we do. Both denominators are the same, so we're good. Now we just got to combine the numerator. So we'll have negative 112m cubed, that's the highest power, minus, well, there's no m cubed over there, so we just go ahead and have that, negative 12m cubed. Same thing with the 56m squared. You can check the other side if you don't believe me, but you'll realize that there's no other m squared. And then over here, the negative applies to both of these. You can think of that, distribute that negative to the top, so it would be negative 22m minus 11. And of course, all of this on the bottom, 8 times 2m minus 1 times 2m plus 1. And just to reread the instructions, so you may keep the denominator in its factored form, so that's fine. If they didn't say that, if they specify they want you to expand it, then you would then just have to FOIL it all out. It's painful, but not that difficult.